Videogame baby! With the release of the LEGO Ideas Sonic the Hedgehog set and the upcoming release of a Horizon Forbidden West tie-in set that's due out in May, I wanted to take a look at every video game license that LEGO has previously made sets for. Video games industry is massive. Gaming has quickly become the most profitable form of entertainment, with Grand Theft Auto 5 reaching the absolute highest honor of being the most profitable piece of entertainment ever created. That's huge. So it should make absolute sense that LEGO would consider getting in on this stuff. Gaming should have already been an everlasting LEGO license, and people have been clamoring for their personal favorites for years now. So here's a look at what licenses do currently exist. By my accounts, there's at least 8 official games with LEGO set tie-ins. For this video, however, I'm going to take a look at some rather adjacent licenses that aren't technically video games, quotation marks, but I think I make an okay argument for why they at least deserve our attention. We'll start with what is probably my personal favorite of the bunch, and I know is a very popular sleeper hit theme with many, and that is the Overwatch line. What eventually became a controversial title thanks to the good old folks at Activision Blizzard started out as one of the most popular games of 2016. The line tragically came a few years later, which probably led to poor sales, but we did receive one hell of a lineup altogether. There's so much to unpack with Overwatch that the video itself could just be about this line, but for now I'll just skim over some of the details. 10 sets released in total, 6 with Wave 1 and 2 additional for a mini companion wave that was released a little bit later, a Blizzard Store online exclusive, and now an unreleased set for Overwatch 2. The line received far more attention than anticipated. 16 of the total rostered heroes were adapted to LEGO form, roughly 95% of those were exclusive, I'd say. It's not a real number, I'm just pointing out how incredible it was that Reaper and Tracer were the only doubles. The sets were phenomenal, with some great display and playsets, but the highlighted feature for me was the implementation of gameplay mechanics into the sets. Having sets that were based on the Payload game mode made my dream come true. Incredible detail and appreciation, and I would have loved to see it continue forward, because someone out there needs to file a missing persons report. I never saw these people adapted into LEGO, and these are my boys. Arguably, what has been LEGO's most successful game line has been Minecraft. I actually bought this 2022 set specifically for this video because all my Minecraft LEGO has been packed away for storage. Steve features some very simple yet effective detailing, and I love how LEGO captured the block aesthetic for the heads. Minecraft started out as this Kuso Micro World set, which I also really love, and it's nice to see Steve all grown up here. The theme turned into an official play theme around 2014. It's been going very steady ever since. We should talk about one of the inspirations for this video, the Dimensions line, which saw the most variety out of all of these. 3 games were included throughout the lifespan of this series: LEGO Portal, a LEGO Midway Arcade, just bear with me on this one, and LEGO Sonic, for the first but not the last time. The game's licenses were huge for Dimensions, with many buying these alone without owning the game itself. Sonic was a great addition to Dimensions and picked up the popularity for just a little while longer. He includes an excellent head sculpt and some really nice red boots printing. He's still a classic, but he would be bested later in life with the recent Sonic Ideas set. The set included the Sonic Speedster, as shown in the Sonic Racing games, and also the Tornado biplane. Looks like this dude owns a plane. I don't know anything about Sonic other than the Werewolf one and the new movies, but I really love this Dimensions pack. Portal was one of the launch releases, and at least here in New Zealand, it was very hard to come by. It was selling out a lot of the time. Shell is quite literally perfect, with the best dual molding prints and special new portal gun. She came with the companion cube, which looks great, sits on top of this nice little display with some portals, and a sentry turret, which makes a great brick built accurate object. I really dig the portal one. Okay, so the LEGO Midway Arcade is the first obscure one that we have here, but bear with me on this. This is taken straight from their Wikipedia page. Midway Games was an American video game developer and publisher. Its titles included Mortal Kombat, Spy Hunter, Tron Rampage, the Cruisin' series, NFL Blitz, and NBA Jam. Midway was once also the international distributor for Namco's arcade games, including Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaxian, and Galaga. In 1973, it moved into the interactive entertainment industry, developing and publishing arcade video games. The company scored its first mainstream hit with the US distribution of Space Invaders in '78. After 2000, Midway continued to develop and publish video games for home and handheld video game machines, but it started to experience large annual net losses and engaged in a series of stock and debt offerings and other financings and borrowings. In 2009, 2009, Midway Games filed in Delaware for bankruptcy. Warner Bros. Purchased most of Midway's assets, including Mortal Kombat. Their successor is currently NetherRealm Studios, who now focus more on fighting games like Injustice, Mortal Kombat, and rebooting of Midway's games. So the Midway Arcade set is based on the company of arcade games. The set included a miscellaneous gamer kid who is currently missing his soda, but he still holds his trusty coin, and he has some nice minimalist details. The set also includes the arcade machine, which is used in-game to play arcades. It's a puzzle solution, and it included the G6155 Spy Hunter vehicle, based on the Spy Interceptor vehicle from the 1983 arcade game series Spy Hunter. It's definitely the nichest one here on this list, but because of the history, I think it's a really cool addition. Star Wars, while being popular for its film and television entertainment giant that it is, also received some video game representation from LEGO too. There's at least 4 separate Star Wars games, potentially more, that have some sets based on them. So we'll start off with the ones that I don't own at all, coming from the Force Unleashed and the Old Republic. The Force Unleashed had one set, the Rogue Shadow, which included the titular Starkiller minifigure, though he doesn't look all that great in comparison to the game's likeness, and Juno is way worse. The Old Republic had 4 incredible sets, and I hate the fact that I missed out on these because they're beautiful. Look at this. This is so gorgeous. What I do have are the figures and sets from the EA Battlefront games, baby! 2015's Battlefront saw the release of 2 battle packs, a Rebels and an Imperial pack. The figures are great, and they have these really cool jetpacks that I hadn't seen in sets prior to this, but they probably existed, I don't know. They had some unique prints and details. I really love the Rodian and the Duros, and I also appreciate the battle damaged stormtroopers from the Imperial one as well. Shadow Trooper Battle Pack had come out a little while earlier in the year, and that has some slight Battlefront tie-ins because the Shadow Troopers themselves make their first appearance in the game. I only learned about this while making this video. Battlefront 2 also received a special Battle Pack though. It released much later than the game, and it had the characters of Inferno Squad. Item Versio, their leader and most unique fig of the bunch, has some really cool prints, complete with a stud shooter to boot. The other troopers are all the same print-wise, but it's worth pointing out that they do each have a unique face print underneath. I'm led to believe that these last 2 here are supposed to represent Del Meeko and Hask, but this isn't really confirmed anywhere. It's just what I assume. Another thing that is still going on strong today is the LEGO Mario line, with many brick-built characters over minifigures. There's so many to talk about, so we'll just go over some basics instead. Mario and now the released Luigi use electronics for their facial expressions. Peach is soon to be released, but at the time of this video, these are the only 2 that I have. The line still seems to be going quite strong, with the most recent wave being based on Luigi's Mansion, so I really hope to see some new characters and hopefully some new minifigures soon. There's also a really cool NES and a retro TV that is compatible with Mario. In 2019, the release of Square Enix's Avengers game, LEGO started basing their new line of the Marvel Superheroes line after character designs from this game. Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor are the most notable adaptations, since the Hawkeye and Black Panther characters didn't exist in the game at that time and they don't really resemble their video game likeness. The Captain America is probably my favorite one of the bunch, and this line is quite disappointing for me because the sets themselves weren't really based on the game, just a very loose connection, but I'm mainly disappointed that they didn't remake a Miss Marvel to go in one of these because her design in the game is stellar. So that about does it for the games that are directly turned into LEGO sets, but there's 2 others that are kind of video game adjacent. You see, LEGO have made sets on not 1 but 2 children's movies that were based on a video game property, with the 2010 Prince of Persia line and the 2016 Angry Birds line. The Prince, or here in this case Prince Dastan, named only for the movie and played by Jake Gyllenhaal, was one of my favorite minifigures as a kid, and it is one of the more obscure IPs for LEGO to have acquired, I feel. This is the only time we will ever have a Prince of Persia minifigure, I guarantee it. Angry Birds is also a tad obscure given that these aren't minifigures, but this is the same company that then later did Trolls and Minions, so I think I'm used to this by now. Red here is one whole piece that's barely a minifigure, but he fits with LEGO studs. The pig is the exact same deal, a whole molded piece with some arm movement. Very weird, obscure LEGO license, but one of my favorites for that reason. That about does it for real this time. There's so many video games out there just waiting for LEGO to make them an offer first. I'm very excited for the Horizon set. This is the first PlayStation exclusive IP that is being turned into LEGO, so I'm hoping that we get some more later on down the line. I expect Nintendo would also allow future sets based on their themes, because how could a Zelda set not be popular? If you have any video games that you're dreaming to be LEGOified, please let us know. Maybe we can manifest a surprise announcement together.